The college football playoff semifinals are set, and the matchups are absolutely loaded with storylines. 4 teams remain standing, but only 2 will advance to the national championship. Let's break down what to expect when the stakes reach their highest point. The Fiesta Bowl features Miami taking on Ole Miss in what shapes up as a classic offense versus defense battle. When the playoff bracket was announced, everyone expected this game to showcase Ohio State against Georgia. Instead, after a wild quarterfinal round filled with upsets, we're getting something completely different. And honestly, it might be even more compelling. Miami has bulldozed its way through the playoffs by dominating in the trenches. The Hurricanes pounded Texas A&M for 175 rushing yards, then followed that up with 153 against an elite Ohio State defense. Mario Cristobal's defensive front has been absolutely relentless, recording 12 sacks and 16 tackles for loss in their last 2 games. Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor have been wrecking opposing offenses. Quarterback Carson Beck hasn't put up eye-popping statistics, but he's delivered clutch throws when it matters most. If Miami wins, they'll play for the national championship in their own stadium. Imagine that pressure and that opportunity. Ole Miss is riding high after their thrilling Sugar Bowl victory over Georgia. Trinidad Chambliss completed 30 of 46 passes for 362 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a clutch 40-yard completion to Design Stribling that set up the game-winning field goal. The Ferris State transfer has been on a meteoric rise all season, and he torched one of the nation's best defenses when it mattered most. The Rebels also stepped up defensively, holding Georgia's ground game to just 124 yards and 3.4 yards per carry. This matchup comes down to one critical question. Can Miami's dominant defensive front keep Chambliss and running back K'Wan Lacey in check, or can Ole Miss play the game in space and force the Hurricanes out of their comfort zone? The Rebels will need to win in the trenches against Miami's offensive line and running back Mark Fletcher, who've been steamrolling opponents. Early prediction: Miami wins a nail-biter, 27-24. The Peach Bowl gives us a highly anticipated rematch between Indiana and Oregon. The Hoosiers beat the Ducks 30-20 in Eugene back in October, dominating in the trenches by sacking Dante Moore 6 times and limiting Oregon's ground game to just 81 yards on 30 attempts. Indiana's defense forced 2 turnovers and allowed only 3 third-down conversions on 14 attempts. The Hoosiers outgained Oregon and allowed just 1 offensive touchdown, with the other coming on an interception return. Both teams looked unstoppable in the quarterfinals. Oregon shut out Texas Tech 23-0, with their defense allowing only 215 yards and forcing 4 turnovers. Indiana matched that dominance by crushing Alabama 38-3 in the Rose Bowl. Heisman winner Fernando Mendoza threw for 192 yards and 3 touchdowns, while the defense suffocated the Crimson Tide and held them to just 193 total yards. The rematch raises fascinating questions. What adjustments can Oregon make after losing the first meeting? How have both teams improved since October? There are striking similarities between these programs. Both feature elite quarterbacks in Mendoza and Moore. Both pace the Big Ten in rushing offense. Both can control games through the defensive trenches. Expect this rematch to mirror the first game, with success in the ground attack, turnovers, and a few timely passing plays deciding the outcome. Early prediction: Indiana edges Oregon again, 24-24. 2 epic semifinal matchups, 4 incredible teams, only 2 spots in the national championship game. Stay locked in with USA Today News for complete coverage of the college football playoff semifinals and every major moment on the road to the national championship. Subscribe now and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the action as college football's best battle for glory.